You did a movie that I completely adore in the mid 2000s called The Proposition, where that's a tough
Why can't you ever just
number.
stop me?
And those of us that really like that movie, we like it with a vengeance. We will not talk to people who don't. You know, that's it. Well, how does that fit in?
That's my favourite film of all the films I've done.
Really?
Yeah. That to me, that just gets me right where I wanted to be got, you know, as far as filmmaking. And there's, you know, no doubt, obviously, Memento is a classic and LA Confidential. They're wonderful films, and not to take anything away from those. But I'm not even sure what it is about The Proposition that really does it for me. It may have something to do with the experience we had when we made it. But I do think it's one of the most visceral films that I've been part of. I mean, you watch that film and you really feel like you're in the heat and you can smell it and the flies. You know, it's incredibly effective. And John Hillcoat, who made the film, just has such an artistic bent. You know.
Nick Cave, who did the script. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, this difficult Chicago accent that I did last year, that is for their more recent film, which is called Lawless, which is an adaptation that Nick did of the book The Wettest County in the World. So again, I get to work with John Hillcoat.
I have to commend you on the fact that when I watch award shows and I see really boring speeches, when you recently won the Emmy for Mildred Pearce, I had never seen anyone actually get up and say,
"Thank you to the Academy. This was really a delightful experience making Mildred Pearce. I got to have sex with Kate Winslet many, many times."
Your wife is sitting in the audience, and it was just fine for you to do that, wasn't it? Where's the devil in you that comes out?
I don't know, it just does. It's the devil in my wife as well, because we would laugh about the fact, I mean, we were here in New York filming Mildred Pearce, and, you know, I'd come home from work and, you know, I'd walk in the door and she'd say, "I suppose you got to have sex with Kate Winslet again today." "Yes, honey, I did." You know. So it became a sort of a joke between us anyway. So I thought, I can't let this joke, you know, stay in the sort of privacy of my own home. It needs to come out.
What started you off in doing this? You said how the family moved. You lost your dad, right, in the...
Yeah.
He was a test pilot.
He was a test pilot. He was killed when I was about 8. And but even around that time, and I think even early, my mum used to take me to the theatre. So when I was very young, I was off to the theatre all the time with her. She loved it. She loved going to the movies, and she loved the theatre. And I think from a very young age, I was just so swept up in it that, and I don't really remember the sort of series of psychological events, but I just know that I wanted to be up on the stage. And I'm not sure if it's because I wanted to have that power that those people were having over me, or if it just felt like a natural calling. I'm not really sure what it was, I suppose. But ultimately, I got myself up there. So I joined these theatre companies when I was very young and started doing plays and musicals and all sorts of things from a very early age. And I think I just kind of took one opportunity after the next. And it really wasn't until I was about 30 and I had a bit of a breakdown and I went, hang on a sec, I've got to reassess. I'm living the life and having a career based on the decision of an 8-year-old, and I need to just kind of assess and see whether or not this is what I really want to be doing, because I was struggling with it a bit, and I was struggling with just Hollywood and the whole attitude and the competition and this, that and the other.
Was this after LA Confidential then?
Yeah. I mean, I was very fortunate. The first film I did in the States was LA Confidential. And then I did a bunch of things and sort of got to like Memento and Rules of Engagement in '99. And then Time Machine, Count of Monte Cristo, 2000, 2001. And I was just feeling sort of exhausted and mentally kind of exhausted and a little displaced. I didn't really know, and I think really it was the consistency of work, and I'd never, as an actor, you're always out of work, so you're never experiencing the thing of too much work. So suddenly, when you have a lot of work, you realise how vacuous you become when you run dry, and so I think I really learnt that having the breaks in between things was very important. But I didn't, I had to learn it the hard way, and it's it's not really something to complain about. But when you experience that, you realise that because I put so much into every character that I play that you exhaust yourself, and so you can't go from one thing and then to another and then to another without sort of falling over. So I just had a little fall over and then took a year off and just had a big think about it and really realised, I think, the validity of what I was doing and of the skills that I'd learned, etc. And so I was able to come back to it with a slightly more mature attitude than the little 8-year-old kid that was going, I just want to be on the stage,
I'm going to go back to the theme as we end, because we always end this show in song. And since you've been musical, since the beginning of time. I don't even know what your first musical theater piece was.
I'm not sure either. Might have
You
been-
are sure, guy.
Might have been
I
The Wizard
know
of
you're
Oz
sure.
or something like
Really?
that.
And what would you play?
I played the Lion when we did it at school when I was about 10. I can't really remember any of the songs from it though.
But, well, you don't have to
If I
remember
Only
that.
Had a Heart. That's the Lion song, isn't it?
Is it?
The
I
Tin
thought
Man
it
is
was
If I Only
maybe
Had
it was a brain. Somebody had a brain. Somebody had a heart. But no, it could be.
Or is it the Tin
you
Man, If
write
I Only Had a
songs.
Heart?
You write songs. You play them. You do them. This is you. This is how we could get to know you. So I don't care whether it's your song or what it's from. I just want to know a song, a little piece of one that's in your head.
A piece of a song that's in my head. Now I've got If I've Only Got a Heart. If I Only Had a Heart going around in my head.
I'm only thinking I only had a brain, but what You're not going to get out of this, guy.
I feel like I am going to.
No, you can't get out of it. Nobody ever gets out of it. The toughest ones. Take yourself back. To me.
I don't remember the words. Can I just hum it?
You can.
If I only had a brain.
So we got to see the 8-year-old guy.
That's
Pearce
right.
Here. I thank you so much for being
I wish I
here.
could remember the words.
Nobody can. It's Monday morning, and it's
true.
about 6 a.m.